I'm Charlie Luxton. I'm an architectural designer and I specialise in sustainable buildings. And I've come here to Silverstone. The racing circuit is just through those trees to visit this shiny, brand new building. This is Aston Martin Formula One's technology campus. Guy, you've been leading this huge project. Tell me about the scheme here.
We've got 3 buildings that we're building. Building 3, you can see over in the distance, that's our wind tunnel. We started construction of that straight after the Grand Prix last year, so almost exactly a year ago. That's due to be completed in September next year, fully commissioned. And then building 2 is a replacement for the old factory building that we were in that was built for Eddie Jordan and Jordan Grand Prix originally back in 1990. And we're just about to start demolishing that and build a second building there, which will house our staff gym, staff restaurant, commercial space, simulator, kitchens. And this is building 1. This is our main building where the cars are designed and made. It's just over 200,000 square feet.
Because as a building of this scale, it's obviously inherently quite energy intensive, I imagine, because you're doing manufacture as well as assembly.
Yeah, and as you know, the whole focus is towards electrification, so we've got no gas. Our water is heated by heat pumps. It's a totally electric box. We've introduced 1 or 2 strange things. We've got bipolar ionization on our air handling and UV on our air handling to kill COVID bugs and other bugs that may be. We've tried to create a building that is a great place for people to work and that people want to come to work in. This is a major part of the building, obviously the street that runs through the middle of the building. It's 160 metres from one end to the other. You see the amount of natural light we get into the centre of the building through this roof line. We're trying to be as energy efficient as we can. The building faces north to reduce the impact of solar gain. And you'll see the roof light here along the street is also angled slightly to the north, again, to try and make sure that we are minimising the amount of solar gain that we get. If you look at the back of the building, there are no windows.
That's because you don't want the heat from the sun when you're heavily insulated.
We don't want the heat from the sun. But also, if we go at the back, we have to have somewhere to put a lot of equipment that we need, particularly dust extract, fume extract. A lot of what we do needs those kind of facilities, so we need somewhere to put them. They're not very pretty, we don't want to look at them. But all of that means that we're feeding air into this building because we're extracting air out of this building, and it's about having heat recovery. We have heat recovery on our air handling units. Above all else in Formula One, the speed of communications is everything. Every department feeds off the street, so people can find their way around the building really easily, really effectively. But it's also to encourage visibility so that each department can see another department and what they're doing. The car develops throughout the season, and therefore it's really important that the designers are all able to speak to each other quickly, that they have access to the various production departments so they can communicate with those people. So horizontal and vertical communications is really important.
You were involved in building that original factory.
Yeah, I was, yeah.
And now you're about to watch it get taken down.
Yeah.
How much has the sustainability agenda moved on in the time from when that was put up to now?
Chalk and cheese. There was no sustainability on that building, none whatsoever.
Pravir, you're sustainability and environmental lead here at Aston Martin. What are the main things that you have put into this building that are different from the way it's been done before and are having a big impact on the carbon emissions?
It's been designed and constructed with the principles of sustainability in mind. So we've got solar panels on our roof, enough to cover what we consumed in 2022. Air source heat pump technology, smart insulation, balancing ponds, also a building management system, which all works together in harmony to create a really energy efficient building.
And that's all used to run the machinery?
So the machinery, IT servers, office use and appliances, everything.
I assume this is the first step in your plan towards carbon neutrality by 2030. Have you got kind of sight of what that trajectory looks like? Because it's a massive transformation, isn't it?
Given our transformation and growth over the last 3 years and the responsibility of representing an iconic British brand, we have to act with integrity. And I think as a first step, what we're doing is focusing on our supply chain, digging into those emissions and identifying hotspots and areas to drastically reduce our carbon footprint quickly. It's created a buzz around the factory, and we really feel like a winning team now.
Formula One has set itself some very ambitious sustainability targets. How are the teams responding to that challenge?
There's a lot of single initiatives, both at team base but also Formula One as a whole, net zero that everybody wants to achieve by 2030. Our new campus is a first step. Then we have change of regulations in 2026. Our hybrid cars that we have already today will increase the electric bit, 50-50. It's also the calendar. The more regional we can make the calendar, all in all, the sum of these will help us to achieve our goals.
Dan, what is this thing behind us?
So this is an autoclave we use for making the carbon fibre parts on the car. We have a number of them. This is the biggest. The carbon fibre gets laid up into moulds. So there's 2 of those you can see there. And then this is essentially a big sort of pressure vessel. You can heat the carbon fibre to exactly the right temperature, and it cures it inside this facility here. It's quite an impressive beast, though, isn't it?
It's quite a thing. Clearly, the factory is doing what it can to reduce the carbon emissions. What are the big steps you're taking in?
We are a global sport. We have to travel around the world to ply our trade. But I think if you look at the things that we're achieving, we're going to have fully sustainable fuels by 2026, which for the broader motor industry is an enormous thing. And the fact that we can pioneer that we're involved in the R&D of that, getting it onto road car engines, I think is a huge thing.
How much is this facility a kind of a core part of Aston Martin setting its stall out for where it's
Fundamental. It's a big statement. Whatever anybody says about this building, it's a huge statement of intent. Aston Martin are serious, and you see that from the second you drive in off the Dadford Road.
Well, Guy, thank you so much for showing me around.
Pleasure, Charlie.
And well done. I mean, quite an achievement, the whole team. And you've now got, what, just 2 more buildings?
2 more buildings to do, yeah.
And a load of races to win.
And a load of races to win, yeah. It's good to see you.
Cheers.
Cheers.